Hello friends and welcome to another vlog. This one is an exciting vlog because I am actually on a solo getaway. I drove to the nearest big city, Anchorage, and am staying in an Airbnb for a few days just to have some solitude and take a little break. I finished my most recent term. I have one more term in my doctoral program and then I'll be working solely on my dissertation. But yeah, I have one more term to go. This last one was really testing. It tested my resolve and my fortitude and my resilience for sure. So anyway, I am here. I'm so happy. I have Maple with me. There she is. Can you see her upside down? I don't know. Anyway, and I wanted to share with you my TBR for this solo getaway vlog. I have now settled on the floor with Maple. Okay, so this vlog is also meant to be a little bit of a FaRoFeb vlog, which is Fantasy Romance February. And so one of the books, I don't know, my TBR is kind of confusing. One of the books that I for sure want to read all the way through, start to finish, is Fortuna Sworn by KJ Sutton. This is a dark fae romance fantasy book. And all I know is that our main character has been searching for her brother for a long time to no avail, and she has this ability to somehow manipulate people's dreams or nightmares, something like that. And from there, she maybe gets swept away into the Fae realms. I don't really know much else, but I know that it sounds really fun, and Ashley from A Frolic Through Fiction keeps recommending it. So hey honey, don't chew on the carpet. Okay, now I have no hands. Anyway, so that is my first book on the TBR. I'll probably read it second though, to be frank. The first book that I think I'm going to read is not fantasy at all, but it is romance, which fits with February, and it's called A Taste for Love by Jennifer Yen. This is a YA contemporary book that follows a young Taiwanese American girl whose mother owns a bakery and her father owns a restaurant, and her mother is trying to find her a nice Asian boyfriend. So I believe that there is a boba tea competition in this where the mother lines up a bunch of eligible young Asian American men for her daughter, and it just sounds cute and fun. I have started a little bit. I haven't gone very far, but maybe 15-20 pages. And Maple, please don't chew on that. This is good. This is good to chew on. Anyway, I'm slouched over weird so you can see me, but because the camera's kind of low to the ground. But I'm looking forward to reading this. I think it should be fun, light, just enjoyable. I always love anything that has food involved. I'm a big food person. So I'll be eating a lot of good food this week because I'm in Anchorage, and so there are a lot of restaurants that I'm going to, get delivery from. And that will be really fun. Maybe Bear's Tooth, maybe Namaste Indian cuisine, maybe some Snow City Cafe, some pancakes for breakfast. So I'm just thrilled to be reading about food and eating lots of good food this week. And so yeah, these are my two main books that I plan to read. I'm hoping to read them fully through. I'm also still listening to the audiobook for City of Brass. Now, my audiobook plan for this week has shifted because originally I was planning on reading A Court of Silver Flames via audiobook during this week. I thought I saw somewhere anyway, that the audiobook was only 8 hours long. So I thought it was a shorter book like the Court of Frost and Starlight or whatever the novella was. I was assuming that it was going to be a short little book. But it in fact is not a short little book. It's a 26-hour-long audiobook or something ridiculous. So I don't think there's any way in hell that I would get through that this week. So I'm not even going to try. I'm just going to keep listening to A City of Brass, not A City of Brass, just City of Brass, which is an Egyptian and Middle Eastern inspired fantasy novel that follows two main characters. One is a Shafit. She is half Deva, which is a type of jinn, and half human, and she has these special healing powers. And another character that we follow is a prince who is Gaziri, so he's also a jinn, but he's like the mortal enemy of the Deva. And so there's a lot of politics involved in this world. It's really fun. I do like the two main characters. I like another character that's introduced also named Dara. He is a Deva Jinn and called the Scourge for his past transgressions. So I've really been enjoying that. This has been a long clip, but I'm going to make it longer because I'm going to show you a couple of other books that I brought along with me in case I finish these. I've decided to stand in front of this pretty blue ice picture to show you Ice and Shadows. Not quite the same blue, but the same idea. This one I am part of the way through, not very far. It's the sequel in a duology. There is a female-female romance in here, and so far I don't really like it that much, but I do want to finish it. And then I also have, to go along with the ice theme, The Ice Palace by Tarjei Vesaas. This is a Norwegian classic novel about two young girls and this ice castle. And then I also have, If Not Winter, Fragments of Sappho translated by Anne Carson. I love Anne Carson. I adore her. Her way with language is unlike anything else I have ever read. And people are watching me. Anyway, I'll keep reading this. It's poetry. I also have these two fun magazines that I brought with me. This one is What Women Create. I've read one of these before. I don't have a subscription, but I found that one at Michael's craft store. And then I also have Origin, which I love. This one is Vegan Recipes, Home and Wellness, and they have two different sides to the magazine, and you can start reading it either direction. It's pretty fancy. So I have those, and then I'm planning on, look at that cute girl. Look at her. Look at that cute girl. Oh, hi. Hi. I know you want me in there. I'll come in. We had to remove the carpet because she was chewing on it. So the tiniest one is a little bit freaked out, huh? So I'm gonna sit here on the floor with her and watch some YouTube from here. Okay, we have our first meal. I ordered from Yak and Yeti, which is this Indian cafe. They actually have a restaurant too, but I ordered from the cafe because it was available through DoorDash. And I got a chana masala, you're okay Maple, and a yam tikka masala. And then I also got this cookie that is as big as my hand and is actually two cookies with filling inside. Truly a feast to behold.
Hi everybody.
Okay guys, it is time for the great Moreo trial. So this is basically a giant cookie with another giant cookie and filling in the middle, and it's divine. I've had these before. It's been a couple of years since I lived in Anchorage. I mean, it's been like 3 or 4 years since I've lived in Anchorage, and I used to get these when I went to this cafe, so I'm gonna do a little taste test. Really, I'm just taunting you. It's about 8 at night. Maple is finally falling asleep on my lap. Oh, she just woke up when I said her name. It's okay. And I'm about to start watching a Read With Me video by Morgan Long. It's a Christmas themed one, which I wanted to watch then, but I just, never took the time. And so I'm going to enjoy it now and read some boba young love. Hey friends, I've migrated into the bedroom and I've read about 100 pages so far of A Taste for Love. The main love interest didn't show up until about 50 pages in, which was a little bit annoying to me. I wish he would have shown up sooner, but I do understand that we were trying to set up the family dynamics with our main character. And I don't think that there's a boba competition. I think it's just a Taiwanese or Asian American baking competition. And there's just a boba tea shop and that's separate. So I guess I was wrong about that. Anyway, I'll probably read for another hour or so and maybe watch a few videos and then go to bed. I am definitely an early morning, early to bed kind of person. And so it's already basically the time that I normally go to bed. But I also wanted to note, I don't know why I thought it would be a good idea to get an Airbnb, because I am definitely on the upper end of the germophobic scale, and it kind of grosses me out to just be touching things that lots of other people have touched. Let's find you a toy. Good morning, back again in the same spot on the floor. I'm going to do a bit of reading, actually quite a bit of reading. I'm about to watch a 2-hour long Read With Me video. It's Pierre Ford's. I love her. She's so funny and witty and wry, and she's just awesome. But I'm going to watch her read with me that she put out a few days ago, and yeah, I'm hoping to get through 100 pages. I read kind of slowly. I try to take my time with imagining everything, and I obviously get interrupted quite a bit. Good girl. She loves this one. It's a snake football rope toy. Update, please don't eat that, honey. So I'm an hour into the live, well, it was live read-in, and I've only made about 35 pages of progress. But I wanted to point out how cute these are. At the top of each chapter, they have different baked goods. There is a contest in here, but it's not a boba contest. It's a baking contest. So I was a little bit wrong about that. Look at that cutie pie. Anyway, I'm going to get back to reading, but Pierre's been talkative. There hasn't been that much reading happening, so that's why I'm not making much headway, but I'm going to keep going. Hey friends, so I'm sitting here with Maple. Hi Maple. She's feeling a little bit freaked out about being here. She doesn't really understand what's happening or what's going on. Put on a hat to cover up the bad hair situation today, and I just wanted to give you a little reading update. So I have made it to page 200 of A Taste for Love, and I definitely think that I'm going to be able to finish this book today. Honey, we don't get to do that. This is not our chair. Yeah, I have about 100 pages left. We made it through the first big baking competition round where there were 10 eligible young Asian American men that her mom had handpicked for her because she's trying to set her up. And it was really fun. It was reminiscent of the Great British Baking Show. They actually mentioned that that was where her mom got the idea, was from the Great British Baking Show, to do this competition where you slowly eliminate the players. And it's fun, it's cutesy. I think the writing style isn't for me. It feels very young, but then again, I'm not the primary demographic for this book. You know, I'm not the person that they're marketing it to. I'm about 10 years older, so it feels a little bit immature, but maybe that's just me not really connecting with YA contemporary anymore, and so maybe that's no fault of the book. It's hard to tell. The main love interest, he's a little bit stoic. I didn't like him at first, and now, I mean, he's growing on me a little bit, but I still don't really see why we like him. And then the other thing is that there's so many things in this book that are just super convenient, like, oh, she falls down and she happens to have him catch her, or oh, she's in New York City and she happens to run into him even though they were in Houston for most of the book. Like, it's just too convenient, but I'm gonna finish and let you know. I also spent the last 45 minutes figuring out the food situation. I was having a real difficult time with Uber Eats, so we've switched to Grubhub. I will show you what I'm having for lunch really soon. I'm excited. Look, blueberry pancakes. Yum. And I got some real maple syrup. I also ended up ordering a side salad because, you know, we have to be healthy. Hey, hi, hello. So I have about 50 pages of the book left, and the third act conflict, hey, honey, please stop. The third act conflict has, here you go. The third act conflict has just happened, and I don't like it, and I don't like how our main man, James, is behaving, and I don't like how our main character's best friend, Grace, is behaving, and I just feel like, I don't know, it feels so dramatic, and the way that this has occurred has been so convenient. Like, of course, this person will be connected to this person in a different way across a different state years ago, and they'll also be connected to this other person, and it just feels super unrealistic, which is okay, but not my preference, I guess. And then the other thing is that I went into this thinking it was a romance, but I really think it's a lot more about our main character's relationship with her mom and the family dynamics and her trying to decide who she wants to be as a person and how she wants to communicate that to her family and acceptance, and it's also a lot to do with friendship. And so it's very different than I had originally thought, but I'm enjoying it. I'll let you know in a few when I finish. So it's time for another round of tea. I'm going for this jasmine green tea from, here, let me find it better, from Numi. It's upside down. This is so delicious. I love jasmine tea, and if you put a little bit of honey with this, I brought some honey from home. If you put a little bit of honey with this, you're okay, Maple. So good. So good. Hey guys, so I finished A Taste for Love, and it was really cute and sweet, and I was happy with how it ended. It was cheesy, but I guess what did I expect, right? And I really liked how it explored being a Taiwanese American young girl and the tensions between more Americanized lifestyle and choices and American culture and the Taiwanese culture in the home, and the expectations that many Asian American young people feel from their parents because their parents have worked so hard in this new place to provide a better life for their children. And it really explored that and talked about that in depth, and I thought that was a really great thing, especially for younger people who may not know a lot about Asian cultures or Asian American cultures to encounter and hear about from a Taiwanese American woman. And it's really interesting because I learned that Jennifer Yen is actually a doctor. So she experienced this expectation from her parents at a young age to go to medical school, and she did, and she became a doctor, but she also loved to write. And so at night, after she came home from her career in medicine, she wrote this book, and I just thought that was really neat and a nice tie-in. And it was so fun to hear about all of the baked goods. Some of them were French patisserie, some of them were Japanese, some of them were Taiwanese inspired. So it was just really fun to kind of see the mixing of cultures with all of the baked delicious desserts. But one book down for the week, so doing good. Okay, good morning. Where are we at? It is Wednesday morning. I read about 50 pages of Fortuna Sworn. I'll get it for you. This one. And so far, I'm not sure. I don't really like that it started out in the modern world and modern time. I'm not a big fan of urban fantasy or urban fairy stories or anything like that. So we have made it to the Unseelie Court, which is like the fairy realm. So I'm happy about that. It didn't take too long to get there, and I'm looking forward to seeing all of the things that go down in the underneath. So I'm really excited to continue this one. I'm not sure so far about our main character, but we'll see. She is a nightmare, which means when she touches people, she knows what they fear, and then she can make them feel those feelings of fear, which is a really interesting power. And she is looking for her brother who has been taken or has disappeared. And so she ends up at the very beginning of the book striking a deal with a fairy to marry him, and he'll help her get her brother back. I've also made myself some hot chocolate and continued reading my Origin magazine, which is just full of beautiful, beautiful art. I love this gal. Her prints are really cool. Her name is Tanya Garcia. I also really like, hold on, I'll get there. This gal, oh my gosh, her name is Yelena James, or Yelena. And then I also am in love with her art. I mean, look at that one. This one is so great. And her name is Rami Palstra. And then I thought that I might continue reading a little bit of If Not Winter, Fragments of Sappho, translated by Anne Carson. There's a cute puppy girl. There's a cute girl. Oh. Work, face, if not, winter. No pain. I bid you sing of Gonglia Abanthus, taking up your lyre as, now again, longing floats around you. You beauty, for her dress when you saw it stirred you, and I rejoice. In fact, she herself once blamed me, Crippigenia, because I prayed this word, I want. Hey guys, I'm freshly laundered, and I'm just coming here to say I'm not really in much of a reading mood today, so I'm not sure how much more of Fortuna Sworn I'm going to finish. I'm checking out tomorrow. Checkout is technically at 11, but I'm going to try to leave a little bit early so that I can get home in time to go for the morning walk. And yeah, I don't know. I'm just feeling kind of lazy, and I don't really want to put a lot of effort into something, so I don't know, I'm like 80 pages into Fortuna Sworn, and I was reading a little bit of If Not Winter. I've got some food on the way coming from Middleway Cafe, which is a really fun, kind of like healthy, organic. I don't know if all their stuff is organic or it's just geared towards a more, outdoorsy, healthy hiking kind of crowd. And I really like a lot of their food. So I'm getting... What am I even getting? I'm getting a burrito, a vegan burrito. Oh, I just got an update. It's on the way. So I'll show you when that arrives. And then, I don't know, I'm going to probably take a walk outside. It's pretty warm, 27 Fahrenheit. And so it's warm enough for Maple out there for a little while. So we'll probably go do a little walk. And then I have a FaceTime phone call with one of my friends a little bit later in the afternoon. And then this evening, I don't know, I really probably should catch up on all that Patreon stuff that I was wanting to catch up on. Yeah. Lainey Taylor, she's been putting out a lot of really cool content that I just haven't been reading because it's so long. And so if I open an email up in the morning and I only have a few minutes, I'm not going to sit there and read it for 20 minutes, but I want to go through and catch up on that. So that's kind of the plan for the rest of the day. I'll give you any meaningful updates as they occur. Okay, so we have some home fried potatoes and a tofu breakfast burrito. Hey, so I've been making my way through City of Brass. Oop, it went away. And I'm getting towards the point where I left off last time, about 3 years ago when I was reading it, the paperback version, and I stopped in the middle. And so I'm excited to see what actually happens next because I think I'm probably only a few chapters away from where I was last time. So things are getting exciting plot-wise, reveals are happening, our characters are coming together, and I'm really enjoying it. It feels like quality writing. So I'm happy to be listening to it, and I'm probably going to listen to it some more while we go on a walk. Hey, so I made it back home. Maple's made it back home, and we're just hanging out today, getting some stuff dealt with. But I wanted to quickly wrap up the vlog, so I did completely read A Taste for Love by Jennifer Yen, which I really enjoyed. I thought it was cute. I love the baking aspect. I love the family element. And didn't love the romance so much, but overall, pretty fun. And then I got about 90 pages through Fortuna Sworn, which started out a little urban fantasy-esque, which I wasn't loving, but then we did end up in basically the fairy court pretty quickly, so I'm happy about that. I'm looking forward to finishing it. It's a dark fae story. And then I also read a bit more of If Not Winter, Fragments of Sappho, translated by Anne Carson, which is poetry, and I adore it. The language is gorgeous, and it just really hits you sometimes. So on audiobook, I listened to a fair amount more of City of Brass, so I'm now like 2/3 of the way through that. And then I also started listening to The Death of Vivek Oji, which became available on my library app, and so I jumped on that one because I've had it on hold for a long time. I've made it about 3.5 hours through, just like that morning when I was cleaning up the Airbnb and then driving back home. So I'm loving it so far. The writing is just phenomenal. It's compelling, and the story, I can tell, is really going to pull at my heartstrings. So those were my audiobooks. I'm really happy with what I was able to read. I was able to watch some YouTube videos, watch some read with me videos, play with Maple a bunch, and just have a bit of solitude. So overall, we had a really nice little getaway, and yeah, and we'll see you in the next vlog. Until next time, sending you love.